Hello everyone and welcome to part 39 of our F1 Challenge Career Mode. Today we are going to the A1 ring, or as it's called today, the Red Bull ring. We managed to get a point in Spain, which was a decent result given our pace, but I think we can look for better here due to the nature of the track. More straights, less really flowing fast corners, and it's a very short lap. So let's see how we do here in Austria, and I'll pass you over to the commentator.
Just before the free practice session begins, let's take a quick look at the Drivers' Championship. Schumacher is leading the Drivers' Championship and going for back-to-back victories here at A1 Ring. David Coulthard, second. Mika Häkkinen, third. Well, that covers the drivers. Let's take a quick look at the constructors next. Ferrari lead the Constructors' Championship and are going for back-to-back victories here in Austria. McLaren are second. Williams are third. Located near Nittelfeld in the foothills of the Styrian Mountains, the A1 ring comes with a flowing mix of fast sweeping and slower 90-degree turns. Built on the site of the historic Österreich ring, this dedicated motorsports facility is another fine example of modern circuit design.
So we move into practice, where in practice the car actually felt pretty good. I mean, I was comfortably in the midfield from the off, unlike Spain, which I had to do quite a lot of practice to get myself there. I was getting quite frustrated with the car in Spain. But here in Austria it was okay up until Eddie Irvine randomly braked in front of me to enter the pit lane and I crashed into him. But later on in practice I'm going to have a very scary incident here where I sped into the pits and somehow managed to not damage my car there, but I had to drive through the pits again, which is a bit strange. But moving on to qualifying, and it was wet conditions, which I was absolutely dreading, and the car was so slippery. It was like driving on ice. I couldn't get traction, I couldn't get turning, my braking points were terrible, and it took a while for me to get any pace, but I just about managed to on my fourth lap. Which, as you see, I'm going across the line 1.7 off the previous lap. I managed to get a 1:19.3. That was the fastest I could do in the session, so let's see where that puts us on the grid.
Hello there. Welcome to Austria for round 6 of the 2001 FIA Formula One World Championship. The weather, as so often is the case here, is just wonderful. Michael Schumacher first. Häkkinen second. Rubens Barrichello consistently outpaced his championship rival, the BAR driver. Coulthard fourth. Schumacher fifth. Raikkonen sixth. Juan Pablo Montoya seventh. The BAR driver was decidedly average in qualifying and will have to work extra hard to make the most of his midfield position. He starts 8th. Trulli 9th. Irvine 10th. Villeneuve couldn't quite match the pace of his teammate. He starts 11th. Frentzen 12th. Nick Heidfeld 13th. Button 14th. Verstappen 15th. De La Rosa 16th. Jean Alesi 17th. Fisichella 18th. Enrique Bernoldi 19th. Marquez 20th. Berti 21st. Alonso 22nd.
So here we are on the grid, starting 8th place. Not a bad qualifying result. We're starting beside the Williams with Sauber in front of us. And very instantly, half of the grid are on intermediates. But lights out and away we go. And there are two non-starters in the McLaren and the Williams. We had to go straight to the middle. Very lucky there. I'm pretty sure there's an incident near the back, as in a lot of people have crashed. We're heading towards the first corner and Kimi Raikkonen is challenging the Williams there. And he's now side by side with the Williams. It's Juan Pablo Montoya. We're going to slip between the pair of them. Jensen Button isn't close enough behind us to make a challenge. But we're going to slip between the pair of them. And are we going to go around the outside? Kimi Raikkonen managed to get past Montoya. We're going to go right round the outside. Left space open. And we have cut Kimi Raikkonen out a little bit. But he did jump over the corner. We've overtaken him. We're up into 4th place. Excellent result so far. I did check the fuel of the other cars. And I noticed that a lot of them were actually running longer than me this time. I put in quite a few litres of fuel. and normally the AI stops before me, but as you can see, there's a big incident there at the start. Only 2 people went out though, which was Ralf Schumacher and David Coulthard. So not too bad, but as you can see, I slipstreamed Kimi Raikkonen down into turn 2. And I think we did an alright job in terms of getting around the outside, the pair of them. I mean, ultimately I did cut Raikkonen on the inside, which you'll see in just a moment's time. Yep, see, just cut out on the outside and he did jump over the curb there, but we managed to get away with it. But here is a clip from one of the Prosts, and you'll see this is weird from the AI because it goes wide, then he suddenly decides to crash into the rear wing of Ralf Schumacher, which is a nice thing to do. But all of them carried on though, only the McLaren and the Williams went out, as I said earlier. But later on that lap, I was actually getting really close to Rubens Barrichello because I realised that I was on the dry tyres, and the dry tyres were the tyre to be on, and the people in front were on the intermediates. So it's very interesting in terms of the tyre strategy of the AI there, because Michael Schumacher, who was way the fastest at the front of the field, was getting away from everyone on those dry tyres, and of course I was actually catching second and third here. So we're going to slipstream Rubens Barrichello up to turn 2, and we went down the inside. He didn't move quite late there, so we had to take a little bit of avoiding action. We managed to get through, but now we've got Mika Hakkinen in front of us, who we always need to hunt down, who is also on the intermediates. He's still looking rosy for me at the moment as we slipstream him into turn 2. So with this split fuel strategies, we need to be very aggressive compared to the AI, because obviously normally we have a lot of fuel inside, so we don't need to be so aggressive and attack the laps so much, because if we have them behind, then we know for an extent that we'll be able to get ahead of them at the end of the race. But as you can see, I overtook Mika Hakkinen into that corner pretty easily, slipstreamed him down into turn 3, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not very good with the corners around the A1 ring. It did bring up a map, of course, before you start, but I can never remember them, to be fair. It's only tracks like Monaco and Monza and Silverstone that I really remember the corners. But as you can see on lap 8, Michael Schumacher didn't get away too much, but then we had this moment, a very strange moment, where the rear end wanted to swap round, and Juan Pablo Montoya managed to get past. So that's very interesting in terms of the way in which the car handled in these damp conditions. So I really wasn't expecting, as you can see. Did manage to save in the end though from swapping ends, which is important. Only lost 1 position because Jacques Villeneuve was something like 12 seconds behind me. And then Frentzen did overtake Jacques Villeneuve, but ultimately I was faster than Frentzen as well. But as we come into the pits on lap 17, I have a very bad moment here where I take a bit too fast, hit a bump, and hit the wall just slightly, and I've lost my rear wing. My suspension was fine, but I lost my rear wing, and then this is really embarrassing, where I break the pit lane line, I actually hit the pit building. Didn't break off my front wing, but I did hit the pit building, which I think is a first. I don't think I've hit the pit building at all in this career mode, or on any game that I can remember, so there's a first time for everything. But as of course I had to get my rear wing replaced, which would take absolute age, and I'm going to lose so many positions, so it's going to be difficult to get points at the moment. But here's a replay of what happened. Just slid in, just slightly touched that Bridgestone barrier, as you can see, and that's my rear wing gone. But you see there's like a really sudden dip in the pit lane, so I really should have spotted that. But getting released now from our pit stop, and where are we going to come out? We're currently 10th, but Jarno Trulli, Eddie Irvine and Kimi Raikkonen have all blasted past us. Nick Heidfeld is a good way back, so it looks like we'll be coming out in 13th place. Not good considering we actually pitted from 3rd place. But on lap 21 we managed to catch up to this group, but it has Kimi Raikkonen, Eddie Irvine and one of the Benettons, and we're going to slipstream Kimi Raikkonen down into turn 3. Are we going to get this Sauber? Are we going to go the inside, the outside? Are we going to go the outside? Are we going to take Kimi Raikkonen for 12th place in this Grand Prix? Yes, we have. And with Eddie Irvine and Jenson Button beside each other, where are we going to go? We've got the speed on them, and looks like they're actually going to get into line for the next corner. We're going to dive it down the inside, compromise our line for the next corner, but they've got no way past because they've got our car right in the middle of the road. Really good move. That's 3 cars in 2 corners there. So I think that's a pretty good move from me there, and I'm up into 10th place, which is important in terms of trying to hunt down the people who are in the points, because we know from earlier on in the race that we have the pace, and I was keeping up my pace pretty well considering the fuel load was now heavier. And of course, we don't want to get stuck behind that Benetton, because that Benetton is dreadfully slow. But on lap 24 we managed to catch up to Jarno Trulli, and we're slipstreaming him down into turn 3. Are we going to go down the inside? We're quite far back, and he's going to hold it around the outside there, and we're still side by side. It's amazing racing with Jarno Trulli. But are we going to go around the outside of the next corner? We're going to try it. And Jarno Trulli's still there on the inside, and are we going to... No, we can't. But we're not going to be able to stick up the inside next corner, because there just isn't the braking zone, or even lifting zone, as you want to call it, because you don't really need to brake for that corner to be able to get past them. We've got a bit of traffic up front. I think it's a Prost. and I didn't have the pace in this last sector too much, as in because of the nature of it and the fact that you can easily just go flying off as you saw in practice. I was being a little bit cautious to stop myself crashing out of the race, but you see that Jarno Trulli's been held up. Going to go 3 wide along the main straight, but I am past Jarno Trulli and up into 7th with Frentzen 15.3 seconds ahead, which I did try and hunt down, but even though he was in a battle with my teammate, an amazing battle with my teammate here, you see they go side by side to the last corner, side by side down the straight. I just couldn't catch them in time, as in on the last lap I believe I was something like 4.3 seconds off of them before I made a little mistake in the last sector of the last lap. But yeah, I definitely had the pace on it. I was catching them second per lap kind of range. But we come across the line for 7th place, which unfortunately is just outside the point. But I think it's good effort anyway, as I hand you over to the commentator.
Well, that's the end of an awesome Austrian Grand Prix. Here are the final results. Schumacher first. Montoya second. Mika Häkkinen third. Barrichello fourth. Villeneuve 5th. Frentzen 6th.
Here we are then for the race results. Michael Schumacher finishing first, Juan Pablo Montoya finishing second, Mika Häkkinen third, Rubens Barrichello 4th, Jacques Villeneuve in 5th, and Heinz-Harald Frentzen 6th. Very good for our team there with Villeneuve in 5th.
The results confirmed, it's high time we updated the Drivers' Championship. Schumacher moves further ahead in the Drivers' Championship.
As you can see, Michael Schumacher massively extended his lead at the top with Coulthard's retirement. Juan Pablo Montoya moved into 3rd. Ultimately, our teammate got his first points on the board, which will be more interesting in the constructor standings, which is coming up next.
Ferrari increase their lead at the top of the Constructors' Championship. McLaren are 2nd, whilst 3rd place is held by Williams.
With constructor standings, we stand 4th on 11 points, with Jordan now on 3, as we need to watch out for Jordan later on in the season. They could potentially catch us up. But I really hope you enjoyed this video and press like for a regular upload for once, and I hope to do the next race, which is Monaco, pretty soon, as that should be really exciting. I'll see you there.